Liz Hale. Liz Hale? Liz Hale is our longest running Studio 5 contributor. She was part of the show from the very beginning. And my emotion is layered in that Liz has been the heartbeat of Studio 5 in so many ways. And personally, Liz has become such a dear, dear friend and sister. Liz pours a lot into the conversations we have here in the studio. She wants to make sure that her words land, that her words are meaningful, and that her words really will help a couple out there who might be struggling and help encourage them toward a greater, stronger marriage. Personally, Liz has become, as I said, a sister. My kids know her as Aunt Lizzie. They look forward to our annual swim day at her house.
I think in another universe, Liz Hale was a queen because she is the most loving, the most classy, warm woman I know. And like I'm saying, she would make a great ruler of a kingdom because she just is someone you want to listen to and you want to follow. She's someone that you feel like Liz genuinely cares about me. She cares about my success. She cares about my life. Liz Hale is a lovely, lovely person.
And as I think of the relationships that I will take from this show and from this experience, Liz Hale tops the list. And I'm so grateful for many things Studio 5 gave me, but I'm very, very grateful that Studio 5 gave me my good friend, Lizzie. Well, these next few minutes are going to be tender and tough, so I apologize in advance. But as you know, to know her is to love her. And we have had the privilege of loving her for all 19 years that we spent together in this studio space. And the best part of that, I think, is that she loved us right back. Dr. Liz Hale is kind, gracious, and gives every single person in her path special treatment. And during this week of celebration, there is no one we would rather celebrate than our respected marriage contributor, as we've invited her to put not a period, but an exclamation point to all of the wise advice that she has shared with us for nearly 2 decades. Are we ready for this, Lizzie?
I'm touched. I'm so touched. Thank you.
I might have a hard time looking you in the eye today, sister, at least for the next few minutes. This is a fun series that we're kicking off today with you to settle in and just look back and reflect and remember, and with that comes laughter and tears. How have you, I'll start here, how would you say you've grown or changed over these 19 years on Studio 5?
Well, so do you mean change, like how have I, because I've aged 20 years and because my font is 20 years bigger now so I could read my notes, or my hair has changed? I have a dear friend actually who says to any of us who are kind of thinking about going down an interesting path, right, we're kind of restless, she goes, oh girl, change your hair, not your life, not your life, change your hair. And I love that. But you know, it's so interesting because when we first started Studio 5, I really thought we knew all there was to know about a great marriage. And then, ... 6 years later, I got married. And boy, was I humbled, and I fumbled, and I stumbled, and I didn't shy away from sharing some of those foibles, you know, because some of the most meaningful mentors in my life, they were transparent. They helped transform me because of their candor. And so I hope a Studio 5 audience member felt, I don't know, a little deeper connection with me and maybe felt more hopeful, and that if Liz can do it, then I can do it.
You've been very vulnerable and honest, and I think you're right. In those moments is where we all learn together, right? And we all grow together. Do you have a favorite topic, a favorite segment, a favorite on-air moment? I've never asked you that outright.
Well, you know, I mean, it would always involve you, right? But truly, my favorite segment was the cutest one with you and Brooke. You were out on the you and Darren, I'm so sorry. You were out in the plaza.
Oh, boy.
And animals galore. And, you know, you kind of gave a new name to Booty Call, I think. Or at least maybe we could call it a booty bump. And you were so darn cute, Brooke, as always. You have the cutest personality. And anytime I'm out in public and people will comment about Studio 5 and introduce themselves, and they're always like, Brooke is so funny and so cute.
Well, we have the moment. Here comes the moment. The archive, roll the tape.
So much for stopping by. Thank you as well. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
The sheep came to say hi.
I refuse to come out of the closet with animals and wind ever again.
Came to say hello.
Well, I think that was very personal. That was a very personal hello.
I'm glad you were standing over there.
Did anyone see that coming? Because if that was staged, Jeff, stop laughing.
Oh, I can't believe we found that, actually. We've talked about that clip for years. It broke the skin, left a bruise.
Did it? No, serious?
Oh, yeah, that was a personal hello. And then the kicker was, literally, the kicker. Later that night, I'm watching the 10 o'clock news, and they teased, like, an anchor clip gone viral, whatever. And I'm like, oh, these are always funny. It was me.
Are you kidding?
On our own 10 o'clock news. So thanks for remembering that.
Oh, you were such a good sport. Such a good sport. My gosh.
Well, there was also a more meaningful memory from the last 19 years, a little more recent. Can we listen and then talk on the other side? Here we go.
Be there for them to let them know, look, I love you and I'm open to whoever you are. You know, I have no judgment about you. You're my child. Ben and I have
This was an important topic, an important conversation. Remember this with us.
Gosh, well, you know, so this was really about supporting parents who had LGBTQ plus children. And, you know, I talked to many mothers in preparation for that segment, and it was just dear to me. I think I cried a little bit even doing that taping. And my own dear great Aunt Bee, one day I showed up at her house for lunch, and so I ring the doorbell. I'm standing there with my little Chick-fil-A bag, and this young man comes to the door. I do not know him.
Okay.
And then it come to find out after I sat down with it was just kind of awkward, and I sat down with my Aunt Bee, and I said, by the way, who answered the door? Who was that? Turns out that young man used to be a young woman, and it was so her granddaughter became her grandson. And my Aunt Bee said just the sweetest things. She said, you know what, I love him just all the same. I love him with my whole heart. And up to her dying day, she died at 100, and everybody was surrounding her, even that beautiful grandson.
And that became the catalyst for a really beautiful conversation. And you mentioned the work you put in talking to all of those mothers of LGBTQ plus children. That's one thing I really admire, and I hope viewers sense, and I think they have over the years, just how much heart you pour into every conversation. And every topic. You put a lot of research into that, and that conversation mattered. The feedback on that was really significant.
It was pretty sweet.
You did good, sister. You did good.
My friend Annie, who has a transgender son, just said, you know, we're doing better. We're doing better this day and age. Other issues she's concerned about, politically maybe, but we're doing better as far as extending love to our children. And I think we all have a responsibility. They're all our children.
Yes, yes. It was after that interview, that conversation, that you say another memorable kind of behind-the-scene moment happened. I remember this.
Oh my goodness, dear Brooke. So that was just, I don't know. And I think viewers, what they don't know is sometimes, you know, like even right now, there's just a little noise on the set, right? And people are working hard and they're getting ready for our next segment. But I was so distracted, I think, because I was just a little stressed. I wanted so much to do that well. And so after I left, I pulled up to my office, and just then you called. And as soon as I looked down at the phone, and I picked it up and said, I think I just started bawling right then. I don't even think I said hello. But I was so happy to hear from you, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even concentrate. I think I forgot some really key things to say, and I just bawled. It was like the therapist who needs a therapist, maybe, or just a really good cry. But that was just so tender to, you know, to share that with you. I don't think I've cried a lot with you. The other time was when somebody broke my heart before I got married, and I cried over our lunch at Nordstrom.
I remember that.
Oh my goodness. So I am so grateful for the friendship and the connection, that you care as much as I do about doing a good job and creating good information. And that's what's just so really quite heartbreaking about Studio 5 putting a period after this week.
We'll say an exclamation point, right?
Exclamation point's even better. Yep.
Well, here comes the name of this series, and we'll end on this note. In conclusion, what do you hope the women of Studio 5 take away from your work and your effort and your light and your messages?
You know, in conclusion, I really love that Harvard study, the longest running study on what makes us happy. Turns out it's our relationships, and it's not the number of them, it's the quality of them that matter, right? Relationships across the board. So I really hope in conclusion that Studio 5 viewers, all of us, will continue to build our relationship skills, because we are powerful as partners and as parents and as people. We're powerful for better or for worse. So may we all just keep studying and rising to a new height.
Love it. I love it. Exclamation point to that.
Yes, exclamation point.
Where can we find more of you going forward?
Thank you for asking. I would love viewers to hop on and our podcast, Stronger Marriage Connection, the one I have with Dave Schramm, Dr. Dave.
It's a great listen, and we are so honored. If I can end on a personal note, I found myself thinking, and I mentioned this in our taped piece, but your family. You are family to us, and my kids have come to know you as Aunt Lizzie. We have an annual swim day that is the highlight of their summer every summer. And as we wrapped up our swim day just a couple weeks ago, I found it so sweet that, of course, they wanted a picture, but this time they each asked for their own individual picture with Aunt Lizzie and Uncle Benny. And I thought that was significant because you make every person feel so seen, and you make every person feel like they're number one. And you've done that to me, to my family, but you've done that to every viewer who has watched every conversation over these beautiful beautiful 19 years. So thank you for that. Ben wanted one. Boston wanted one just with Ben, but I think he earned that.
I
think he earned that.
with Ben too.
Oh, we love you, Liz.
It's been a great honor.
Love you deeply.
Thank you.